What's up, everybody? This is the Objective Jerk, and I am said jerk. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. I hope all this war and everything going on isn't, stressing anybody out. Just keep in mind that this kind of stuff goes on continuously throughout history. Maybe not so much where we're the primary as far as America or whatever, but, it's always been going on. I'm not saying, don't pay attention, but just don't let it stress you out. So I guess America just took out a nuclear plant in Iran. I didn't read the details, so maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's what Trump posted. Not super excited about it, but at the same time, it's not. Iran is Iran. They've always been a problem and would continue to be a problem. And it's not so much that, it's more or less how China and Russia react to it. I don't know. It was kind of nice to say that when Trump's in office, there's no wars and stuff, but it's not like he started this. I don't know. Who knows? I've been trying to lay off everything just because I get tired of it. I'm so tired of all the racial, the ICE and the stuff going on, the protesting and everything. It's just like, I'm just sick of it. So I just been really kind of trying to avoid all that stuff. Just been trying to read some books, read the Bible, pray the rosary, go to the gym, things like that. Just try and keep myself busy with other stuff that's not social media, because man, there's so much crap too on, like, Twitter is much better than it used to be, but it still sucks. Or X, whatever you want to call it. But it's just, there's so much BS, and even like some of the stuff that I do watch, it seems like they're just little clickbaity stuff. Because everything is just about clicks and views, no matter what. Maybe people start off just trying to do, report on what's going on, but then they kind of, breaking, and then you watch it, you're like, what? Why is this ain't breaking? What? So it's like, I don't know, I've kind of slowed down a little bit on, just because it just gets old after a while, I think I've said it before, you gotta take a break every once in a while. But I did feel like talking. There was a police officer involved shooting that happened in Florida, beginning of the month, I guess, that I didn't hear about until just today. And I watched the clip. I'm gonna watch it again for the viewers, so you can watch it. I'm not gonna react because I already watched it. Basically, I just kind of had it going on while I was doing some stuff. It's a short video, but I did want to kind of talk about some stuff regarding it. And but before I do that, I kind of wanted to share something. I think it's funny. So my channel, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. So I audit my podcast. First of all, I'm all about just the podcast, because I'm not trying to do a bunch of editing and all this kind of stuff. I'm not trying to be a content creator. I'm just, wanting to talk and BS. So, I just wanted to do podcasting. And then I started trying uploading to Rumble and BitChute and everything like that, and was getting more views and stuff like that. So I was like, man, all right. So, so I, started making little lazy videos and stuff like that. But my biggest thing is the podcast. What makes me happy is when I get interaction on the podcast. But, so my podcast, when I record one, it automatically uploads to YouTube. It's just audio. There's no video, because I don't do the video because the stuff I talk about, YouTube doesn't want, so I don't even try. Every once in a while, if I talk about something, I guess maybe something kind of like this, the police shooting, maybe I'll upload it. I don't know. But usually if I talk about like movies or something, that's what I'll upload to YouTube, but not really. I don't know. I upload my podcast and I upload it to Rumble and BitChute, and that's it. That's all I do. And I share some links to stuff, but I used to spend a lot of time on Twitter commenting and sharing posts and this and that, but man, it was just ugh. I don't like it. Anyway, so I'm a very, 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 very small whatever. You know what I mean? I get bottom of the barrel, and that's fine. I'm not trying to be anything. But I do get some interaction sometimes. Sometimes it's good. A lot of times it's like it's bad, or sometimes it's comical. So I wanted to share this. I thought this was funny. So on my last episode, I talked about, it was called Fatty Liver, Fake News, and Finding Focus, right? And I'm pretty sure whoever this person is has commented before, because it was very similar to other stuff when I talked about like fast food restaurants, the differences between here and there. And it's probably the same guy. I haven't looked, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny, so I'm just going to read his comment. Or her, I guess. Anyway, it says, "You are just a lazy, whiny bitch. You eat a shit diet full of dead animal parts and have no idea how you're gaining weight. All those tats instantly tell me you are a narcissist. All the dead animal stuff made you lose your hair. All the hormones in meat fuck up the hair follicles. I am way older than you, old enough to be your daddy and then some. I run half marathons every week, run in the middle of the winter, summer. I'm in better shape than you because I do not eat any animal products and make no excuses." Definitely a vegetarian. I don't know. So some of the stuff, I just think that's funny. And I reply, "Thanks for watching." Oh crap. It's playing the video. Let me turn. Okay, go back. No, come on. All right. I don't know if that recorded that. I don't think it did. Started playing the beginning of the video. Anyway, I just think that's funny. It's funny how people are more inclined to comment when they're angry than if they're, if people actually kind of like the video. I mean, y'all get some stuff. Hey, liked it, whatever, this and that, blah, blah, blah. They'll share something. But for the most part, I don't get a lot of interaction, which is fine. I just think, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. And I think this guy is actually, I think he's commented before, because it sounds similar. Let me see. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can find I don't know, when I talked about like kind of I know it was a while ago though. The difference is how I talked about how it's like the same three, like fast food. And it's like I don't eat fast food all the time because it is garbage, but meat is not garbage, you retard. Anyway. In defense, part of my health problems is because of science and all the stupid medication they put me on. But I'm off of it finally. I don't know, crap. I have no idea which one it was. I should have looked it up beforehand, huh? Oh, maybe it's this one. Let me see. Oh, it's going to play it again, though. I got to make sure it doesn't. Maybe not. No comment. Dang it. Maybe I can see all of them. Hold on a second. When your brain feels like you're... Oh, see, and then I get like notifications when there isn't anything there. Anyway, it's kind of every once in a while I'll get that. And I think it's the same person. I don't know. I'd have to look. Not sure. But I just thought it was funny. I actually like those. So whoever, keep it up, dude. It's entertaining. All right. But yeah. So, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the video, which I kind of already watched, but I didn't really watch it. And then I'm going to talk about it. So, I'm not going to pause and talk over it. I'm just going to play it. I mean, I'll talk as it's playing, but I'm not going to stop it. But I got to pull it up first of all so I can. Okay, here we go. So, I'm going to push play now. All right.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks again for listening to The Objective Jerk. I greatly appreciate it. If you could like, subscribe, comment on wherever you're finding this, and you can also email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. So, hope you're enjoying it, and please continue on with the episode. So, the officer is definitely not well trained in submission and everything like that, which I'm not an expert either, but I don't know. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to wait till the video is over. So he's fighting with this guy. First of all, came across, he got a call of somebody behind this business or whatever, didn't know what it is. He talked to the guy. So here's the guy reached into a bag. He's trying to get rid of his gun. It appears, after watching the whole video, that he's just trying to get rid of it. But the thing is, so now the officer knows, oh crap, a gun got tossed. But it happened when he got flipped. Was he trying to get it to use it? Probably. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know if this other one's a little gun or part. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it's a little revolver. So he had two guns. So the thing is too, is you can only go off of, so you can see he's spent, he's smoked, man. Cop is like done. So at this point, the cop is fighting for his life because it is not hard to get knocked in the head unconscious. So now he knows that he's going over to where he threw the guns, right? I'm not pausing it into the video. Just. And there it is. All right. So I hadn't heard or seen anything about this. And gosh dang it, man. And even when I clear my stuff before, gosh, every time I know, gosh, I don't know, it'll never go away. It's something about the humidity here, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna take a little Lothinger thingy. I'm supposed to do that before to help. Anyway, all right, so this video, I guess, is kind of, people are upset because they're like, he was unarmed and maybe shot, and as you saw in the video, he was throwing the guns over the fence, right? But it's so much easier to criticize, watching it from 2020 armchair, whatever you want to call it. I think the shooting is justified based on what the officer knew and what was going on at the time. Now, I don't think the officer, he needs definitely no criminal charges or anything like that, but he needs some remedial training. He needs to. It's so important to be in shape being a police officer, And it's hard when you work 12 hours and you work nights and the only thing you can eat is like fast food or something. So it is kind of hard, but it can be done. Um, but so I mean, if the officer was better trained and in better shape, then it wouldn't have ended like it did. He would have took control of the suspect immediately, got him down, got him cuffed, and then the guy would still be alive. I don't know if he died or not. Probably. I mean, there was a lot of but here's the thing. So this is why I don't think it's like, the officer or the sheriff should be charged. He shows up to a call. Guy is in the area where regarding the call, jumps over the fence and he's trying to talk to him, and immediately he won't listen, and then so the cop goes to put hands, hey, hold on, and then they start scuffling, right? So immediately you're in a bad situation. Because, I mean, as soon as you start fighting by yourself with a suspect as a police officer, your life is in danger. Because you have no idea what that guy's intentions are. Maybe he's just trying to get you off and take off, right? But you don't know that. And it's not hard for the individual to get the upper hand of a police officer and then get your gun and take you out. And it's happened, Yes, the weapons have retention systems and everything like that, but it's still, they come out. So they're fighting. He can't get the upper hand. The guy threw the gun. I would think the officer knew the gun, heard it, saw it the way it was. Maybe he didn't know. I don't know. But I think he knew at least the first one, maybe not the second one. And then, the guy was beating on him. He goes over to where he threw the guns. And then, it looks like the officer didn't really see him toss the gun. So as far as he knew, he had the guns. And then he shoots him. I need a mute. Yeah, how do I mute the... My only thing is, you're supposed to be giving commands. So through that whole video, the officer isn't saying nothing because he's fighting with the guy, right? And real quick, I didn't do this before, but so, I was MP, military police in the Army, and then I worked for the Army as a civilian, as a police officer, and then did security for different places. And so I've had some training, some experience. The experience I have, I don't think it's not as bad as working in the city. There's that Jack Reacher movie with Tom Cruise, and he's like, the only difference between me and you, or between, I don't know, something like that. And he's like, all my suspects are trained killers. Yeah, kind of. But the thing is like most people in the military are working towards, there's some shitty, soldiers and whatever, this and that. But for the most part, they don't want to get in trouble. And, they follow orders for, not all the time, but, we got in lots of scraps and stuff when I was an MP. But, when you're a civilian, you have no idea. You have no idea who the person is that you're dealing with and what their intentions are. I mean, it goes both ways, but, just because somebody was trained how to kill in basic and then became a pharmacist or something, it's just that quote, like, it's like cool, like, oh yeah, badass. But I don't know, Anyway, I never worked city police or sheriffs like that, so I have a lot of respect for the individuals that have or do. But the training that I was always given was, whenever we did any kind of training, physical, trying to, baton strike, or when you're grappling or doing whatever, you're supposed to be giving commands as you do it so that bystanders, such as that camera, knows what's going on. Because they could argue, like, well, the guy doesn't know what he's supposed to do. The cop's just beating on him and they're fighting, which is kind of a stupid argument, but, it is an argument. So that's why you're always trained to, like, get back, get down. And it's tough when you're exerting yourself and you're trying to breathe and to talk at the same time. That's why you notice that guy, the cop, wasn't saying nothing because he's trying to breathe. And then the whole radio thing, I'm not even going to talk about the radio. It seemed like people were, I don't know what's going on, but the officer was trying to call in that he needed assistance or what, I don't know, he did 2112 or something is what he said. But it's like he kept trying, but it was like burp, 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 burp. That means like he was keying the mic while somebody was already on the net, and that's why it's important to not just be jaw jacking on the net all the time. It's supposed to be just codes. You got to give a bunch of information. You're supposed to call on the phone and stuff like that. It's for reasons like this, because you heard beep, 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 beep. It's like trying to be like, hey, I need help. Anyway, that's another thing. But yeah, so the officer was just really poorly trained and out of shape completely. I'm not one to talk, but definitely out of shape. Generally, you want somebody that would be able to one-on-one be able to take the individual down and, get him cuffed while telling him what he's got to do and what he's got to do. So it's like, he should have been stop resisting, whatever, this and that. And then the only thing is, like, when he got up and he went over there and the cop pulled the gun, like, he wasn't like, drop it, or I'll shoot. He just, like, pulled it and just shot at him. You know what I mean? So I guess if you get super technical, I don't know. The more I think about it, yeah, I'm not saying the cop was wrong, but he didn't do a very good job. I don't think he should be, he either needs some training or he needs to be sitting on a desk or something. Because that was not the best. He came out on top. He went home, which is good. But yeah, there were some things that could have went a little better. He should have been given commands, but he couldn't. Because I'm assuming he was trying to breathe. He couldn't talk. So he needs to be in better shape. And then people be like, well, he didn't even have a gun and he shot him. It's like, well, yeah, but he didn't see. If you watch the video, he tossed the guns over, and then the cop was getting up, and then he got up and then pulled the gun. But he didn't say nothing like, hey, put your hands up, or he just, probably because he was just like so out of it and he thought the guy had a gun. He was in fear for his life. The cop was like, he thought, I'm going to die. I need to shoot this guy before he shoots me. Now, was that actually what happened? No, the guy threw the guns over the fence, right? But you have to go by what the officer knows at the time, You can't look at the video and be like, oh my gosh. It's like, he only knows so much information at that point in time, you know what I mean? After it was all said and done, and then maybe he realized that the weapon was over the fence, and he would have been like, oh crap, man. But what's done is done. And you can't, if you hesitate, if you're like, oh man, did he throw it? I don't see the gun. I'm not sure. You're supposed to have visual. You're supposed to be able to see the gun and lift. So, there are some, it's kind of iffy, really. The shooting, I think, is justified. But like I said, the officer was sloppy. And I don't think he needs to be criminally charged, but he definitely needs training, or he needs to not be a police officer anymore. Because we do a lot of training, like I said, given the commands, or did a lot of shooting where it was like they tried to get you. It's like you had to wait for that moment. Just because somebody's holding a weapon doesn't mean, like if they have a gun but they're pointing it at the ground, can they hurt you? They have the ability to, but they can't hurt you at that moment. It's not until they start to raise the weapon and show, what's the word? Totally forgot. Intent, right? So, if somebody has a bat and they're just hanging it down by the side, can you shoot them? If they got a bat and they're coming at you to swing at, can you shoot them? Those are all things that. So I mean, the officer, I wouldn't say he fucked up, but he just definitely didn't do a good job. And given the circumstances and everything that he knew at the time, I think he's fine as far as criminal charges. I've said this how many times, but he definitely, he should not be a police officer, or he needs to get in shape and remediate. That's why it's so important to be in good shape as a police officer, man. Because for those that know, but those that don't, it's to exert yourself and to, I want to say tumble, but that's not the right, to fight somebody. There's another word I'm trying to think of, but dude, 30 seconds of full on grappling and this and that tires you out. And if you're not in shape for it, tires you out even quicker. Plus, police officers have all their stuff on. So you got to be in shape, man. You really do. If that police officer was in good shape, and maybe he was pretty good trained, maybe he could do it. He was just so out of shape. But if he was in good shape and some decent training, he would have took that guy out immediately, got him. Then this would never happen. So that's why it's really important for police officers to be in shape. That's why, when you see police officers and they're just like huge, and you're just like, what? They need to be a little more strict with that kind of stuff because of reasons like this. This is a prime example of why police officers need to be in good shape and well trained. Because you get a lot of police officers that are not well trained. They're not confident in their abilities, and so they overcompensate, and they pull out the gun right away and this try and show dominance, or be like, I'll tell you what to, and they start being angry and this and that because they're trying to scare the other person because they're scared, so it's a tough job, man. Law enforcement. And then when you have your community hating on you, which it seems to be less and less, though. It's not like it was 4 years ago during the Biden administration and everything and all the defund the police. It was like, geez. I had a buddy I have a buddy I was in the Army with. He retired around that time. It was a couple of years ago now. And he was looking to be a police officer. But I was like, man, I don't know, dude. He ended up not. He's doing something, or did he go back? I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while. Then I have another buddy who is a police officer, and guess what? He's in shape. He's always been, into keeping in shape and stuff like that. So it's important. So I don't know. That's just kind of my perspective on it. Like I said, I don't think the cop should be criminally liable, but he needs to either not be a police officer anymore, or he needs some training and remedial, getting in shape and all that kind of stuff. But I'm glad that he made it out alive, and I hope he does either find a better job that suits him, or he gets in better shape and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, all right, so that's it. I kind of feel like I'm repeating myself, so let me know what you think. Did the guy, was it excessive? Did the cop, let me know your opinions about it. And thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. God bless, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye. You just put yourself through another episode of The Objective Jerk. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Please email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment, wherever you find this, follow. It all helps. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.